Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in our Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in drippin' orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who that? Time to put your hands up. Bingo stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feastin' now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in drippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move close and on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo bottom, never stop it till the beast on feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in drippin' orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move close and on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Also, the college football playoff Cincinnati Bearcats, home of Sauce Gardner and my boy Kobe Bryant, who's going to get drafted in the NFL a week from today. I can't wait. Anyway, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,587 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I ask you every single day, why not? Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you want to become part of the chat crew, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have a question from Matt Minich, talk about the NFL draft, risers and fallers, Sauce Gardner, Kobe Bryant, whatever you want to ask, give us a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, hit those likes. It helps the algorithm. And I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, got all the news out of the way, all the sponsors, everything else. Hit the likes, hit the subscription, all that crap. Let's get to this thing. We are 1 week away from the NFL draft. I am fired up. I am ready to go. I'm ready for the Bengals to put the card in. Hopefully, Linderbaum will be there. If not, Booth, Elam, who knows? There's lots of guys there. Like I said, we got Matt Minich, otherwise known as Coach Minich from Cincy Jungle joining the show. We're going to be discussing risers and fallers and who he likes in the draft. Let's get to Matt. Matt, what's going on, brother?
How you doing? You have a much higher production quality than anything I do. I love the intro. I love the tiger growl coming in.
It's a lot of work.
Awesome.
I'll tell you that.
Oh, I
It's
know
a-
it. I know it. That's why I don't do it half the time. Like I
Yeah.
can do some stuff, but I'm like, sometimes it's just like whatever. I'm just putting it out there.
that's where like, dude, when I started this thing 3 years ago, I couldn't do none of this stuff. I was not very computer literate whatsoever. So I had to get my son and my wife to help me out. So they've helped me out a ton, and I've gotten a lot better at it. I'm still not as good as they are, but we'll see.
Yeah, when I first got my podcast on Cincy Jungle, and like there's like an interview thing for it, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, do you know how to do this, this, and this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Didn't have a clue about any of it. I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'll learn it. Get the job first, and then learn how to do the job."
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it works. Just got to keep trying. Dude, I keep throwing stuff out there. Like I'm starting to cut up, excuse me, videos and segments from my shows and putting them out on the channel as well. And that's taken me a long time to do it, but I don't always have time to do it. So I'm gonna get this first comment here. Why I cough? 1 second here.
All right.
Kobe Bryant. He says he's not going to be there, or he's not going to get drafted. Bull bleep crown. What's your thoughts? As I cough.
I'm sorry. I think I missed the end of that because of the cough. All right.
I said bull
all right.
bleep. I think Kobe's going to get drafted.
I don't. He's not getting drafted a week from today.
No, you don't think?
I don't. He's not going to the first round.
Oh.
I'm assuming that's what the question was.
Oh, I got you. See, me and reading don't get along so well. But yes, first round though, it probably will not get drafted.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting drafted.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen that. People talk about that, but I think that's overvaluing some of the guys that we like that we've seen here a little bit. Here's the thing. I like Kobe Bryant. And I like him as a mid-round type of cornerback. The guy I really like on Cincinnati's defense, who I think could be in play for the Bengals, and I really think isn't getting talked about enough, is Brian Cook, the safety. I think he is a fantastic player. And there's some things coverage-wise you haven't really seen out of him in that defense and what they do, but I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a hitter. Like he comes down screaming. I think that would be my top Bearcat to Bengal that I would like to see happen. That I think would be a really great fit. I mean, besides the obvious that isn't going to happen in Sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would be a great move for the Bengals, and I think that he is a guy who is not getting talked about nearly enough in this draft overall.
Right. I think there's a lot of Bearcats like that. I mean, I think Alec Pierce, I think he is going to be a lot better NFL prospect that people give him credit for. Now, like I said, I got Bearcat sunglasses on. Sometimes I have my orange Bengal sunglasses. I got my red Bearcat sunglasses on here, and that's why I love Kobe and I love Alec Pierce. I love all these guys. I mean, they brought us, from the doldrums of Tommy Tuberville to the college football playoffs. So they hold a special place in my heart. So I do speak a little bit from the heart instead of my head when it comes to these guys. But Alec Pierce, I really do think he could be a potential Cooper Kupp kind of player. Maybe not as good as Cooper Kupp, but a slot do everything kind of player. What's your thoughts on Alec Pierce?
I don't know. I think he's probably better on the outside. He's a real vertical threat. So just looking at him, I think that could be a good spot for the Bengals too. Like that, I think he could be a mid-round kind of guy. And they need to add some depth at the receiver position. Now, on Tate's gone, that was obviously he was hurt, so it didn't end up that way. But on Tate was kind of presumed to be that third outside guy for a while. And here's my thing: like T. Higgins has a lot of like little things that happen to him, and a lot of these really high end athletes, they're kind of sports cars,
Right.
when they run. Man, it's something, but sometimes they need a tune up a little bit more than you'd like. And I think T. Higgins is kind of one of those guys. So I'd really like to see them take, to get by some means an outside guy that can stretch the field, be that guy opposite Chase. Not as dynamic and good necessarily as Higgins, because you're not going to have that guy, you're not going to be able to put them guys in the roster or spend that kind of capital on that one position. But, I'd like to be able to see that. So, if Higgins tweaks something in a game, you can kind of lay off him a little bit and put him on a bit of a snap count from time to time. I think a great example now like, hey, they went to the Super Bowl. Like they're contenders. They're real contenders. And I think you look at the Patriots have been a great example of a team that have taken guys in the past who have injury issues. Gronk, for one example, Danny Amendola for another example, and they really understand how to utilize those guys. And there will be times that those guys would kind of disappear for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden, hey, this is the Bills. This is a game that we think we had to win. This is the Chiefs. This is a game we think we had to win. Or a divisional game, playoff game, and those guys showed up for those games. So I think being able to have another guy where you can say, let's take the pressure off Higgins here because we got this one, and you could throw that guy in there. I think that would make a lot of sense for them.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, we saw it happen last year because T did get hurt and Auden Tate was hurt. So we had Michael Thomas as your third wide receiver at the time when T was out. So yes, I do think they need to get another wide receiver. And the one good thing about this draft class is the wide receiver class is pretty big. I mean, there's a lot of pretty good wide receivers. I mean, I know Hot Take James. I keep bringing this up. James Rapine, he throws his Hot Take chain on, and he said Chris Olave, he might be there at 31, which I think he's saying that tongue in cheek. But to me, I'm kind of like, if for some crazy reason that happens, would the Bengals take him? I don't think he's going to be there, but just for conversation thing.
I mean, I was actually like, this idea came into my head the other day, and actually the guy I was thinking about was Burks, because Burks is so different.
Right.
Now they already went out and they got Hayden Hurst, but like there was I had the thought in my head of, like, you were an 11 personnel team,
right?
Why can't you be a 10 personnel team? You know what I mean? Like, because the tight ends were expensive in free agency. There's not a lot of top end talent at the tight end position in this draft. There are some guys, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute. But what if you just said, screw it, it's a really deep receiver class. We're sitting here at 31. Where there's a guy that should have been a top 20 pick, because honestly, that could happen with 11. There's plenty of guys that should be top 20 picks at that position that aren't going to go. So what if you just did that and just said, screw it, we're running 10 personnel all the time? But I don't know. I mean, they went out and got the.
It's a crazy thought, but it might not be out of the realm of possibility. Because everybody keeps coming at me going, well, they got to draft heavy defensively, which I do agree with that. And I really want to get Linderbaum. That's who I'd like to get at the center position. But this NFL, the way it is, these teams win with offense. It's not a defense first league anymore. And the more weapons you can get and the more protection you can give Jackpot Joey Burrow, the better I think your chances are of going to the Super Bowl again. Because you can get out in front of people and outscore them. It's hard for them to keep up. So a lot of offenses, if your offense is this much better than everybody else's, it doesn't really matter what your defense is. They can't keep up with you.
I mean, I don't know. I think the defense is just different, and you're not going to see a lot of teams that are holding teams to 13 points anymore, and you're not going to win a lot of games that way. But I think the value is still there. It's just kind of understanding what you need to do and how you win with defense. And I think the way you win with defense is playing good in the red zone, especially when you have Joe Burrow and you're going to get touchdowns on the other side, forcing field goals, and creating turnovers, and that was Zach Taylor talked about that during the year, about like they want to be 2+ in the turnover game. That means turn over the ball less, but that also means being able to get those opportunities. And I mean, we could talk about shootouts between Burrow and Herbert and Burrow and Mahomes and Burrow and Josh Allen and all these things. But at the end of the day, if you could steal an opportunity here and there from those other quarterbacks,
right,
like that's setting you up too. So I don't know. Like, we're not going to have that truly dominant, ride it to the Super Bowl type of defense like we had in the past with Baltimore and Tampa Bay. But I think the value is still there.
Right.
And I think when you can find those type of playmakers, guys in the first round like Hall, guys in the first round, Dax Hall from Michigan, that is, guys in the first round, like Kyrie Elam, I think those are guys that can make some big time plays for you. So the value is still there as far as I'm concerned.
Now, I say that, and I was doing all this talk about offense and everything, but I mean, the Bengals won in Tennessee because of defense. They won in Kansas City because of defense. So I mean so I talk about this juggernaut offense in the playoffs. They won because of their defense, not because of their offense. I mean, all year last year we won games because of our defense. They got off to a good start because of the defense, because the offense was slow starting. So I say all that, and that's not the reason the Bengals won last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's always that shift, and you're looking to get better all over the place. And I think with the improved offensive line, we're going to see a lot more consistency from the offense. They're going to be able to ride that in those situations. One thing we were talking about receivers before, I think you're going to see a lot more out of Tyler Boyd this year, because with the improved offensive line, it's a lot easier to see those over the middle routes if you're not running out to the left or the right or something like that. So
not running for your life all the time.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see a big bump from Tyler Boyd. He's always been awesome, but we're going to see a bump in performance from him with that improved offensive line. You could say all you want about Mixon and the run game and stuff like that, but I think Boyd might be the one that has the biggest bump from that improved offensive line.
All right. Now you talk about Mixon here, Michael.
Adjust your fantasy lineups accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Madden here says, I know the Bengals have Mixon, but when do they start looking at running backs? Which is, I don't think it's a too crazy of a question there. I mean, I think Chris Evans is going to be your RB2 eventually, but you could improve on Piron. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you look at how do you feel about Evans is definitely a factor with that. And I also think if you're going to go for a running back, I'd like to see some added utility there. Knight from North Carolina State, I believe it's Zonovan Knight from North Carolina State, is also a really good returner. He's one of the top returners in this draft. And they've talked about, and Darren Simmons has talked about how they need to be more explosive on their return units. So I think going on and getting a guy like that, we know they tried Evans back there last year, and that may very well continue. But I think if you're going to go for a running back, you want to find somebody that can do something for you right now. P. Ryan underrated for, he's a very good special teams player. He's not a kick returner, but he is a really good special teams player and contributes in a lot of ways there. So especially those guys, those guys that aren't getting the touches on offense, in addition to defensive backups and role players and stuff, those guys need to be able to contribute on special teams.
Right, exactly. Now, the title of this show was Risers and Fallers for the NFL draft. And the reason I said that, because this year I think I have noticed more of the guys who are rising and falling because of where the Bengals are picking at 31. Beginning of the draft, Linderbaum was the guy. I've wanted him the whole time, but I didn't think we were actually going to get him until he measured out short arms. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're in quarterback, and then maybe it's Booth. But then Booth got hurt, and now you don't know about this. And then Elam, and some people like Elam, some people don't. It depends on just whatever. I've really noticed how much these guys rise and fall right now. So 7 days out, where are these guys at? Are they who's on the uptake, and then who's falling right now, in your opinion?
It's funny. We've had a particularly short year as Bengals fans, but it's a shorter year for everybody because of the extended season.
Right.
But yeah, I'm used to. I mean, I was watching film of quarterbacks in the year they took Burrow in October. You know what I mean? But this year was crap. We got to get ready for the playoff games and stuff. So I wasn't too invested in that, and had to shift gears very quickly, just like the coaching staff had to shift gears very quickly here. But it seems like the draft stuff is all over the place. It seems like people's opinions and where people are being projected, it seems like it's just crazy this year. How all over the place those things are. The draft simulators all stink this year too. Right. Usually there's a couple that are all right, whatever. And then there's a couple that are really good. And this year it's just oh man, nothing is why is that guy here? You feel bad. You're I'm not going to take that guy in a second, because that's not even realistic. But anyway, I feel like we're all over the place. So I don't even know if we really are necessarily risers and fallers. It's just we haven't let the dust settle on some of these guys yet. I think Dave Brugler is a guy from The Athletic that does a great job. And I actually kind of now that he's actually come out with his rankings and stuff, I'm kind of
beast.
With the beast. I'm focusing on that a little bit now. Right. I'm saying, okay, well, this is the the realistic area some of these guys should be going in. But yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. You're getting all this stuff with arm length from Linderbaum to McDuffie. I just saw Josh Norris had a mock draft that had McDuffie. The Bengals taking McDuffie, which would be a departure from them, from the type of corner they like and they take, but also a guy
He's
that
a tight
shouldn't be
end.
there.
He's a tight end, right? Am I correct on that?
No, the cornerback from Washington. There are
Oh,
two
okay,
cornerbacks from
okay,
Washington.
I got
This is
you.
the one that's never projected to the
Yeah,
Bengals.
let's see, and that's the thing. There's so many people jumping up in my head. I usually in the first round, I was like, all right, we're taking this guy. There's so many guys. I'm like, I can't remember them all. I got to write them down. I actually do have someone written down. I just didn't have that one.
Yeah, I mean, and Booth's a faller. So McDuffie's been that third guy taken in mock drafts in most, but he's got the short arm, so maybe he doesn't. And he's a really high effort, big hitter guy. Like personality wise, I love him, but maybe he just doesn't fit their physical profile. Booth is a guy falling because he didn't test, and there's questions about him having surgery and stuff, and bad experience last year with a guy having off-season surgery coming out of Clemson, and not giving you much in the first round. So, that's definitely a guy who's fallen off. Linderbaum, who knows where the dust is going to settle on that. But he's a guy too. Like, I don't know, the way they've been talking lately, and some of the interviews they had last week, it's like, are they even really thinking about offensive line in round one? Like, and honestly, I don't think they need to. I think they've done enough that they're okay. But I think they're in that sweet spot where they don't need to, but they definitely could. It's been, and if a guy like Linderbaum's there, then you probably should.
Saying. If he's sitting there, it's like, how can you not take him? That's where I'm like, because if you get him, like your offense, it's already fixed. But you go from the worst offensive line to hell, might be the best offensive line.
And you got Alex Pierce, who's number one, is versatile, but he's also on a very, very friendly contract. It's not a ton of money. No. He can play. He can go in there. He can step in and play guard. And guess what? If Jackson Carman comes up and takes that job, fine. Alex Pierce is a guy who could back up three positions on the offensive line. He's going to start games for you this year. He's going to play, and like I said, and they've got an out in that contract next year too for not a ton of money if they really wanted to do that.
Right.
But I don't think it's crazy money to pay a guy backing up for three positions.
No. I mean, that's one thing. I think the best part about him is he can do that, because that was one of the problems we had last year. We didn't really have that. We had Jax Carman was a guard. Deontay Smith, technically guard tackle, but he's a rookie. Mm-hmm. Everybody else we had were pretty much tackles or guards. We didn't really have a very good swing guy. We had Fred Johnson, and he tried to play guard, and I don't think he should ever try to play guard again, because he's not a guard. He's a tackle. Yeah. So and that's where already we're better in that aspect. Now, real quick, I'll get this out here before I forget. Like Jackpot Joey, Maddie here saying, don't forget about the giveaway. And I'm doing a giveaway draft night. It's a Jackpot Joey flag, towel, and hat. Now, I'm not sure if I'm giving them all away to one person or three different people. I haven't figured all that stuff out yet, but I will be doing a draft show. Now, it ain't going to be during the draft. It's going to be before the draft, just when my show normally is. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. All right, let's see it. Now, I know Augie had an interesting question in here. Where's that? Okay, actually, a statement here. He goes, now I thought this is kind of funny. He goes, one expert had on NFL Net had Pickett at 6, and then one had him at 32. Like, talk about trade, all over the place. Like, that's what I'm saying. With it, and I really think this quarterback class is really going to determine this draft, because I got a feeling once one goes, then they'll start going. But if people keep waiting and waiting and waiting, there might be other guys that move up. We'll have to see. So,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a few years ago that Baker Mayfield class, that was supposed to be the Sam Darnold class, and then right before the draft, all of a sudden you started hearing these things. There were always the Baker people, and I'll admit I was one of them. But you go there was all these whispers about that, and those guys were seen a little bit higher, but where the dust was going to settle them, we didn't even really know like a week beforehand. And then there's been scattered results when it comes to that group as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to see that. And I think that's the thing with these guys, is we're also seeing Pickett's the top guy for top quarterback, but sometimes he's not. Sometimes we're seeing Desmond Ridder as the second or third guy, but sometimes we're seeing the dude from Ole Miss. And there's no reason for me to spend a lot of time looking at the top quarterbacks this year, so I don't really have a specific opinion on it. But
right, exactly.
Now, first world problems.
I know exactly. I know you gotta get out of here by 6 here. This is when we were just talking about this before the we went on. He said, I think the Jungle Cats will make a move and try and get Sauce or Stingley in this year's draft. I've said it a million times on here. I hope I'm wrong. I don't see it. I do not see the Bengals trading up to get those guys because I think they value their draft picks and we need depth more than we need a cornerback. I mean,
they don't have a lot of picks either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, I could see there's been a lot of talk about them moving out of the first round. I don't know if they're getting the value because we just talked about how crazy the quarterback class is, so nothing would really surprise me. But people talk about what somebody's going on a 5th year for the quarterback. I don't know for what quarterback. You know what I mean? Like if the guy somebody's in love with falls,
right?
Honestly, they're probably moving up to 24, 25, or 26 or something. You know what I mean? They're not going to wait until 30 to be like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You actually see more often so that's happened actually. What people talk about Lamar Jackson, but before that, like in the modern contract setup, rookie salary cap,
right?
Him and Bridgewater are the only 2 times it's actually happened where somebody traded back into the first round for that. Other times that they've traded up from around where the Bengals are to the mid-20s, like the Jordan Love.
I mean, to get Stingley or Sauce. I mean, Sauce. I mean, Math Bomb on my show yesterday said he might go 3rd. I mean, Stingley, they're both going in the top 5, top 10. You got to move a lot.
And Stingley's got some of the question marks with the injury, and can he be what he used to be? And how much are you going to give up to get that guy?
Right.
Like, it's one thing if you have the pick and you take the risk, but now you don't have the pick. You're giving up for capital to get the pick to take that risk.
Yeah, and the thing is with the way the Bengals play defense, they don't necessarily. I mean, yes, a shutdown cornerback, a number 1 guy would be great, but if you can get another guy on the other side of the ball that's adequate to Chidobe Awuzie, I think it would be just as good as far as the defense goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same kind of thing with the offensive line. To be honest with you, that the defensive backfield and the offensive line, it's like you need to have everybody be good enough,
right?
Because one guy doesn't make a huge difference. One guy, it's a little bit different on defense because if you have a shutdown corner, you can put that guy on Tyreek, and you put that guy on Devontae, and he shuts him down. That's one thing. But the offensive line, it's like, all right, you can have a shutdown guy at left tackle, and guess what? Myles Garrett's just going to go to the other side.
We saw that. We saw that in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah,
they found the weak spot and went after him.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, all right, Matt. I know you got to get out of here. You give me a half hour. I appreciate it, man. Tell everybody about your podcast, what you got going on at Cincy Jungle before I let you get out of here.
Yeah, so we got the Coach Speak podcast. Kind of the idea of I try and break down what coaches are saying to like what I'm hearing from what they're saying, and translate the Coach Speak a little bit. Also got some great film room stuff. First round for the Bengals. What are they going to do? I've already got articles out there on Booth versus Elam. We talked about how people are all over the place on Elam. To be honest with you, I'm a little schizophrenic about Elam myself. I think safety's
you
underrated.
love him or you hate him. It seems like.
There's one thing that there's something about him that scares me.
I can feel the frustration in your voice.
Yeah, because I don't have the access to get in there. I think you can kind of talk to him and figure it out, but I don't know. He might be afraid.
Right.
And you can't be afraid. You know what I mean?
Afraid.
He just might be afraid to make a play sometimes. Just the way he comes in and attacks the run game and pursuit and stuff. It's like, does he not want to hit people? Is he afraid that he's going to mess up? I don't know. Because he can hit, he can tackle. People that knock on him as he can't tackle. He can tackle.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's just like, why aren't you doing it though? You're there.
And that's one thing the Bengals have really emphasized here lately in the free agents and the guys is tackling, especially the secondary.
It's funny because people talk about Booth tackling. Booth is trying to just destroy you, and he misses tackles all the time because he's trying to destroy you. That's great because you could reel that in. He's not scared. Just tackle that. You don't got to knock his head off. Sometimes he's just too passive, and it's just like, are you doing this because you were told your job is to knock it back into the guy, and you don't understand that means do that and then go make the play? Anyway, I could go on for the whole thing about that, but I've got articles about those guys. Got another one. These are with film clips too. Dax Hall versus Petre from I'm probably saying his name right, for Baylor at the safety position.
Right.
Other guys I
Petrie.
think aren't talked about enough, but could be real options at
Right.
31. And then I've got one that's going to be coming out probably beginning of next week. Logan Hall versus Travis Jones for that IDL spot, and who would be a good option for them at 31.
That'll definitely be interesting because I've been hearing Logan Hall's name a lot more here lately than I
Yeah,
did
he's
before.
he's picking up steam a little bit, so we'll see.
That's one of the risers I've been talking about.
I wasn't gonna do it. I was just like, I'm gonna take a little. I don't need to do that. It's just like I gotta write this article. Crap. So, I love it, but every once in a while, they're just like, I'm gonna take it easy on myself, and it's just like, no, we gotta do this.
Especially if you're already thinking about it anyway. I'm like, hell, might as well write it down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it gets in your head. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I have to do it for yourself. You do it for your listeners, but you're kind of doing it for yourself too. So
right. Exactly. All right, Matt. Well, as always, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all you guys from Cincy Jungle coming on here and giving me the time. So, who day?
Absolutely.
I will definitely catch you next time.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
See you, brother. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Let me get to some of the comments here. Augie, your team Logan, get him so the others can't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too, brother. Yeah. I hate to see anybody going to Pittsburgh. For the people on the podcast, Augie says, I'd hate to see Logan Hall in Pittsburgh. I agree with you. Now, I know you guys had a couple more comments up here, and he only had so much time, so I couldn't get to everybody. But like I said, we are a week away from the NFL draft, and I'm getting excited. It's going to be a long night. I know a couple of guys are on here talking about how late it's going to be because the draft will start till like 8:00, I think, and we ain't picking till last. So I'm pretty sure I'm taking the night off work so I can stay up and watch it. So it'll be a fun night. And the cool thing is I will be at the Paul Brown Stadium for the season ticket holders draft party. So that'll be a lot of fun. So if any of you guys are there, come check me out. I'm not cool enough to get invited to the draft yet, but I know a couple people that are, and that is awesome. So, like I said, we will be doing draft night here. We are going to, let's see here. I got Kieran from the Full 10 Yards coming on. I got Santiago, and I also have Dale Altman. All three of these guys are really good draft experts. They live and breathe this stuff. So I had them on live at 5:30 a week from tonight. We'll be doing a live draft, discussion of, what's going on. Where are the Bengals going to be at? What's the feel of the room, because we're getting into, nut cutting time. They're going to draft Linderbaum, which I'm going to keep saying that. And I agree with Matt to a certain extent about the offensive line where he said it can be okay, which, yes, with Jackpot Joey Burrow there, it can be just okay. But I don't want just okay. I want an elite offensive line that will eat glass, chew nails, and stomp your ass in the ground in front of Jackpot Joey Burrow. And then I want that man to have a nice, clean uniform, stay in the pocket. If he wants to run, he can run. If not, he can take a 5-step. He can take a 7-step. Hell, he can go back there and eat a sandwich and then throw the ball. That's what I want. So I agree with them to a certain extent, but we went through an okay line last year. I want an elite offensive line. And if Linderbaum is there, I don't see how the Bengals cannot take him. Just my opinion. We'll see what happens. And like I said, cornerbacks, you can get a good one in the second round. We don't need a shutdown corner. It would be nice to get a shutdown corner. Don't get me wrong. I would love, you always want to get the best player available. And everybody says best player available. Okay. If Linderbaum is there, to me, he's the best player available. I think he's better than Wyatt, and I love Wyatt. If Wyatt's there, Wyatt is older. Wyatt is 24 years old. Linderbaum is younger. Booth and Elam, they're not the highest ranked cornerbacks in their spot. Linderbaum is the number one center, in the whole freaking draft. So if he's there, that's what I want. So, Rabbit, there you go. Actually, you want to know who I want? That's who I want. I want Linderbaum. I like to see him. And the cool thing too is, if you draft Linderbaum, then at least you have two guys in Jonah Williams and Tyler Linderbaum that are kind of under contract. Because the thing is, with the three guys they signed this year, I know they're all under team-friendly deals. And if they go the whole contract, All three of them are up in 3 years. So you got to, have guys, not that Linderbaum's going to replace anybody, but it's nice to have a center. All right, this is your center for the next 7 years. Jonah Williams, your next left tackle for the next 7 years, or however long they keep him. At least have two guys that are stable. And if the one that is stable is your center, the guy who's hiking the ball all the time with Joe Burrow, that's a good thing because those two touch the ball more than anybody on the team. Every single play, the center and the quarterback touch the ball. So if you can get a young center who hopefully he comes in here could be an all-pro, and you get him to hike the ball to Joe Burrow, jackpot Joey Burrow, every single time from now until the end of his career, that's a good thing. I mean, the Colts had that with Peyton Manning and whatever his name is, the blue-eyed guy he's on ESPN. I can't think of his name now. He was his center for the longest time. And that does make a difference. So that's where I am so sold on getting Linderbaum. I don't care about the short arms. I've talked to enough experts that know more than I do that he'll be okay. He knows how to work without it. So that's why I want him. And like I said, I'm a big Kobe fan. But, I mean, you can get some of these other guys are going to drop. Crown. Thank you, Jeff Saturday. That's his name, Jeff Saturday. So some of these guys are going to drop in the quarterback, and there's going to be somebody there that they'll be able to get in the second round. I truly believe that. I'm thinking when you get to the third round, that might be the tight end spot, depending on how the draft falls. There will be some good guys, and like I said yesterday when Math Bomb was on here, and Paul Dana Jr. put this out, all the top tight ends right now, other than Gronk, I think Gronk was a first-round pick, Kittle, Travis Kelce, all these guys that are really good, all of them, like I said, except for Gronk, all of them were not the first tight end picked in that draft class. So just because you might get somebody that's drafted at the third tight end taken overall as far as the class goes, or the fourth one, it could be. I'm not talking first round picks, Augie. Yeah. Gronk was the second rounder, 43rd. Yes. I meant the first tight end picked in that group. I think Gronk was the first tight end picked in that group from what I understand. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking first round picks. I'm talking the first tight end picked for that. Hernandez was. There you go. Well, we know about Hernandez. I'm talking about ones that are good or still around. Anyway, but that's what I'm saying is the upper echelon tight ends right now. We're not the very first ones taken. So my point is they could find a guy in the third round, in the second round. Who knows? I don't know. Wide receiver, Alec Pierce. I would love to get him. I think there's a good shot. He could be there in the fourth round, fifth round. You can get him. That's your wide receiver. Or Kobe. I would love to get Kobe. I'm not going to forget Kobe. Kobe in third round would be awesome. Alec Pierce in a fourth. And then for me, if you can get Matt Ariza in the fifth, and I know people think I'm crazy. You want to take a punter? Yes, I want to take a punter. This guy is unbelievable. I watched the tape on him, and I'm no draft expert. I'm no tape expert. I just saw it, and it was unbelievable. He's the best punter prospect I've ever seen, and not like I've watched a ton of film on punters or anything like that, but it was just unbelievable. And if you can get him and shooter Evan McPherson, Darren Simmons would be ecstatic, and hopefully Darren is watching my show and he'll come on so we could discuss maybe the Bengals taking Matt Ariza, because he said he'd come on my show. I'm still waiting for that. Him and shooter Evan McPherson. I know you're watching. You said you'd come on my show. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see. Rabbit, what do you got here? I'm so freaking excited. I'm taking off work to LOL. Safety and key cornerback are my targets, but I'll be happy all around. And the cool thing is they can take the best player available every single round. And that's what they probably will do. Whoever they have on their board at whatever position it is, that is the best player available, that's what they'll do. I really do think they'll do that. They should do it. And that's the best way to draft. Rabbit, so what if we trade? Maybe trade back? Is that what you're talking about? Or trade up? I think there's a better chance of us trading back instead of trading up. Maddie, yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. Everybody keeps saying they're talking about the kid from Ohio State, and I know. I'm not saying anything against him. If he's the punter, great. I'm just saying this kid is unbelievable. You should go watch his film, dude. It is unfreaking believable. Drew Christensen, I think, is a good punter. I think he'll be fine. But if you can get an elite, once in a generation punter, once in a generation kicker like Evan McPherson, Matt Arise is that. I mean, he looks like it. So that's what I'm just saying. Rabbi, you're saying trade back, get more picks. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. And it depends on their board. It just depends. It's going to depend on who they have there. Who is there when they're picking at 31? Who do they think is the best player available? If Booth is there and they think he's the best player available and that's their number one guy, then no, they won't trade back. But if their number one guy is gone and they think they can get somebody else there that's as good, or that person will drop to them, which is a pretty big drop, then they'll trade back, because you can trade back and get more picks. And like Matt said, we don't have a lot of picks. So if you trade back and get more picks, that also helps. But losing the first round pick, you lose that 5th year option, which I'm kind of with Matt. But yeah, it's cool, but if you hit on more players, we'll see. All right, Michael Ruffin. If Leonard Baum is gone, who you picking up? If Leonard Baum is not there, I'm taking probably a cornerback. I'm taking Booth or Elam, because I really do think they're going to be there. I mean, if Wyatt's there, from Georgia, I'd take it, but I don't think he's going to be there. There's a very good chance that either Booth or Elam going to be there. And that's most likely what is going to happen is those guys. I think we'd be lucky if Leonard Baum falls, but that's what I would do. Jeff Anderson. We still need depth in the O-line. Where are we getting O-line in the draft? What round? Well, that's what I've been saying. I want it in the first round. Because like Matt just said on here, if you have Leonard Baum and he's your center, and then you have Ted Karras, who can already play center, left, and right guard. All right, let's just say Jackson Carman for some reason beats him out, and then you have Karras as your backup left guard, right guard, and center. That's either way, he's going to be a backup. Either way, Karras is probably going to be your backup to one of those anyway. So that's depth right there. And yeah, I do think they should try to get some more guys in the later round as well. But I really do think they're counting on Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith a lot. And the thing you have to realize, a lot of guys make huge jumps from the first year to the second year. I mean, look at Logan Wilson. I know it's completely different positions, but there's lots of guys that do that. And I don't know if Jackson and Carman will, but I got a feeling Deontay Smith will, because they're out hearing a lot of good stuff about him. I know Frank Pollock likes him a lot. And they're going to count on Jackson Carman. They took him in the second round. So they're counting on him to be the depth piece or to be the starting left guard. Either way. But yes, if they don't draft Leonard Baum, then yes, they're going to draft some more offensive linemen in the later rounds. Hell, if one of the guards are there or the tackles are there, they'll take them, obviously. But that's the thing. It's going to depend on the way the draft falls. And I said it before. You can take the best player available, whoever that is. Or in any of these rounds, the entire draft, there is not one person, not one position where they have got to go, oh my God, we have to go get that guy. Because they don't. I mean, they're pretty solid at damn near every position. Yes, there's ones that positions they could improve upon, but they don't have to. That's the thing. That's the cool thing is they don't have to reach for anybody. They just went to the Super Bowl. So, and that's really what it's going to be. It's going to be best player available the whole time. All right. Let's see here. Let me go to Rabbit. And you guys, you can give me a super chat if you want. Just begging. Just kidding. All right, Rabbit. The draft is going to be interesting. We won't pick till close to midnight, but I'll be there for it. Yeah, that's what I said. I'll probably I'll be taking the night off work, because there's no way I can stay up and watch the whole thing. I'll be at work at like 3-something in the morning, so not gonna happen. All right, stranger. My order of preference is 1, first round, Leonard Baum, trade back, Elam. Unfortunately, I think that's the opposite order of likely. Yeah, I don't think Elam is going to fall that far. Because I don't know the number offhand that we pick in the second round, but I know it ain't. It's not early. But we'll see. And yes, Maddie says Deontay Smith will make a big leap. Me and Maddie are big. We are big Deontay Smith fans. Crown. How about them Reds? How about them? I'm wearing the Reds because I still love them, but they are 2-11. Horrendous. Wow, Rabbit. You gave me, you didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. You gave me a $4.99 super chat. Appreciate the stream, man. Rabbit, I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate you too. Okay, let's see here. Jeff, when do you see the Bengals addressing tight end? I could see it. See, for me, again, it just goes to the way the draft is falling. But it could be as early as the second round. It could be as late as the fourth round. I don't think it's going to be any later than the fourth. But I think it's somewhere between the second and fourth. So it could be third. I don't know. But that's where, because there's guys like if you watch yesterday's show, which I did a clip of it, you guys can go check it out. What Matt Baum was talking about as far as the top tight ends go, in his opinion. So it's on the channel. So I've started to clip up some of the stuff on the shows here. So important stuff. So if you guys just want to go back and watch it, you can. But he was giving his top five tight ends in the class, and none of them are like juggernaut guys. And so that's where I'm like, yes, there's a lot of good ones. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams that are running up to go get them. So we'll see. Michael Ruffin, who's your favorite tight end? The funny thing is my favorite tight end is the kid out of Ohio State. That's who I like. And Matt Baum wasn't as, I won't say he wasn't mean to him. He was just saying he's going to be good, but maybe not as good as I think he's going to be. Because I don't know why. I just think that kid got more potential than he got a chance to show at Ohio State. That's just what I think. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm just a guy with a YouTube show. What do I know? But we'll see. It's here. Bengals report. What's up, man? Where you been at? Jalen Pratt. I'll get it right. Petrie would be a solid pickup for our cornerback. Yes. And I think that's the kid out of Baylor, if I'm correct on what we're thinking. Yes. Baylor. Yes, you're right. Yeah, and yeah, there. I've seen him at 31. I've seen him all the way down the second round. So that is one, and he can also play safety too. So that's another thing that they could possibly address because of the Jesse Bates contract and because Von Bell is going to be contracts coming up soon. So they're going to have to get somebody there, to replace one of them. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep both of them, but we'll see. Oh, there you go. Yes, that's his name. Thank you, Jeremy Bruckner. Yes, definitely. I think he's got more potential as well. I don't know. I saw him play, and look, I like Ohio State. I'm a Bearcat fan. Let's get it right. I'm a Bearcat fan, but I root for a lot of teams in Ohio. So I'm a Cleveland Cavalier fan. I'm not a Browns fan, but I'm a Blue Jacket fan. But I am an Ohio State fan. Now when they play the Bearcats, hell no, I'm rooting for the Bearcats. But I really do. I just think that there's a lot more to that kid. I just do. I've seen him make some really tremendous catches. I think he's a good blocker. I think he gets off the line pretty good, for a tight end. There's just a lot of stuff I like about him. So we'll see. Let's see here. Jeff Anderson. Bengals need to be smart with a second round pick. Last 5 years, our second round pick has either been great or a bust. Well, the last three have been awesome because 3 years ago was T. Higgins. Jamar, who we got last year? Jamar, oh crud, I can't remember who we got last year. Last year's are awesome. Who do we get? Now Logan Wilson was in the third round. I'm talking to myself here. Anyway. Yeah, but they have, yes. Okay, Carbon. All right, man. All right, never mind. That wasn't as good as I thought. Never mind. But T. Higgins was a really good one. Jackson Carver, yeah, we'll see. I was hoping it'd be a good one. I thought it was somebody else. I kept thinking Logan Wilson was all thinking, but they got Logan Wilson in the third round. Same year that we got jackpot. So anyway, but yeah, and that's the thing though. That's what I keep saying is second round pick. You could get a legit starter there. Now, T. Higgins was damn near a first round pick. I mean, the Bengals were, picking, first every single round that year. So to get him is basically a first round pick that we got in the second round. So second round picks are kind of hit or miss, especially as late as we're picking. So we'll see what happens. But I do think they're going to do. The Bengals have done a really good job. And the third round has been a hit for them. I mean, they've done a ton of stuff, in the third round last couple of years. Like Logan Wilson was a huge, huge draft pick. Because I remember when they drafted him, I'm like, who? Logan Wilson? What are you talking about? I don't even know who. Wyoming? Like, all right, whatever. Yeah. So that was awesome. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Stranger. Running back 3 has been a good free agent last year. Round 3 has been a good for us last 2 years. Wilson and Osai. I thought Osai was third. I thought Osai was a fifth. All right. You guys are probably right. Like I said, we'll see. But there are lots, like I said, I got so many names jumbled up in my head. I forget stuff. Jeremy, call me crazy, but I take Kobe in a second. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. But if we're the only ones thinking that and the NFL teams are thinking he's a third rounder or a fourth rounder is what I've heard, I might wait. I wouldn't wait past the third, but if you give him a third, I've said this with everybody on my show. I think you get him in the third round. I think it's a steal. I just do, because somebody stopped all those passes that were getting thrown to him, because they sure as hell were getting thrown to Kobe. It's like Math Bob said yesterday. He said, they just threw a scrub out there to Sauce because they were just not throwing to Sauce. They were throwing to Kobe if they threw anywhere. So we'll see. Anyway, all right, let's see here. It's 5:52. We got a couple more minutes here. I can get in. Let's see here. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm talking about Kobe. I wouldn't wait any later than third. No, neither would I, because I think after that he's gone. If he's there in the third round with the Bengals pick, I would take him. But again, like this whole draft, we could say what we want. It depends on where the Bengals have these players on their board. And it's kind of an easy draft, I think, for the Bengals, because they don't have to stress out. You just do your job, and you have your board, and you rate the guys. First, second, third, fourth, whatever you rate these guys. And when your pick comes up, you go to the board. Okay, that's the highest one available still. Let's take him. That's all they have to do this year. Literally, that is it. So with that in mind, they should have a very good draft. Now, last time we had this, I think it was in 2014, 2013, when we were in the middle of our 5 straight playoff runs, where they could basically take the best player available. Now, some of those, they took chances on stuff like they didn't need to. Like the swinging gate Cedric Aboyhi. They should have not drafted him. And that hurt us for years to come. So this is where they got to be smart and not take chances. Just, keep it simple, stupid. Draft the best player available and move on. That's all they have to do. All right, Crip. Whoever drafts Alec Pierce, he will be the steal of the draft. I love Alec Pierce. I really hope he becomes a Bengal. I think he would be a great addition. But like I said, I'm a Bearcat fan. I want them all to be stay in Cincinnati. But Alec Pierce, I think, is good. I do. I think I know I said Cooper Kupp, and that's a big get, but it could be. You never know. Who knows? The cool thing is, a week from tonight, within a couple hours, we'll be finding out who the number 1 pick is, because that's another interesting thing. Who is Jacksonville going to pick? There's no clear. That's what's so interesting about this draft. There's no clear-cut guy anywhere. There's not. There's no quarterback at the top of the list. Pickett's not going number 1. I think him or Willis are going to be the first, 2 off the board as far as quarterbacks go. But that's where it's such an interesting draft this year because there's not that elite guy. There's a lot of really good guys, but not like last year. I almost got all the way up to Chase. I almost got all of them right, except for Atlanta. I said they were going to take a quarterback, and I was wrong. But everything else I got right. Jeff Anderson, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate it. I think the end will go with McDuffie at cornerback or Booth in the first round, which would be fine. I mean, there's a very good chance. And that's where I'm at 31. If Linderbaum is not there, Linderbaum or White are not there, which there's a good chance they might not be there, we're taking a corner. I guarantee you because they need a corner. And that's at that round or that point of the draft, it's probably going to be the best player available. It's going to be one of those guys. And I'm starting to hear McDuff more than I keep bringing up Elam, but I'm starting to hear McDuffie more and more, and Booth's been there the whole time. So we'll see. Yes, Ken, you're correct. We have to prepare for Burrow's contract. Yeah, and that's where this is also a draft that you have to draft for depth, but depth can also mean best player available. Depth doesn't mean reach. I don't want them reaching for anybody. There's no freaking reason at all they should reach for one single player in this draft. Whoever you got as the top player on your board, when it's your time to pick them. That's it. It's easy. Yeah, no, he's not going to be there. I have not forgot about Zion Johnson. I don't think he's going to be there. That would be cool. I'd take him too. I'd take him over Linderbaum, but I don't think he's going to be there. That's why I'm not even considering it. But we'll see. Anyway, been on for almost an hour. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. Like I said, go check the channel out. I have been doing a lot of work on cutting different segments up of the shows and stuff, especially with Math Bomb on yesterday. He was talking about cornerbacks. He did a whole thing about tight ends. Then we did a little thing about Deebo Samuel. If it's system versus the talents of just players in general. We did one on punters. So if you don't want to sit and watch it for an hour, I got 5 minutes, 4 minutes of videos that you can watch and check that out. And I'll try to do that with Matt here, as I did yesterday. Now tomorrow, Chris Welch, I was going to record one with today, but he wasn't able to do it today. I'm going to record an interview with Chris Welch tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, he's Cincinnati Reds color commentator. Record that and I'll put that up on the channel later on. And I have a very interesting guest tomorrow. Now, we always talk sports on here, and sometimes, you can have some actors, some comedians, some comedy guys. I have an actor on tomorrow. He is a local actor, Michael Luce. He's been on a couple of different movies. He also is a producer, so he produces his own movies. Lives over here in Northern Kentucky. Big sports fan, huge sports fan. So we're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about acting and sports and everything in between. So it'll be a little different show. I've gotten some feelers out. I got a couple of different guys like that are going to be coming on. So just to change it up a little bit, we always talk about sports. We can get another aspect from different people. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Now, let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They're Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Cincinnati Reds, riding third, heading for home, Bearcat Country, Bearcat Ruckus, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and they follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I will be pulling off the sound later on tonight, so if you want to listen to the whole podcast, if you're at work tonight or you wake up tomorrow morning and you miss some of it and you want to check it out in the car, go check it out. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review, especially on Spotify. It's right out there in the little corner. It says Sports Strawberry Ice right down there. Bam. All you got to do is hit it. Pops up. 5 stars. Bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit 5 stars and leave me a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. And other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to have a fun night, draft night. No Reds tonight, so we don't have to worry about, losing again. Other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in our Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin' Hootie, time to put your hands up. Bingo stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Hootie in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that Hootie muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move dancing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em.